Have you ever found yourself reacting strongly to situations without understanding why? Do you sometimes feel like your emotions are taking control, leaving you overwhelmed and confused? If so, you're not alone. Many people struggle with emotional triggers that can disrupt their daily lives and relationships. But there's good news: you can learn to manage these triggers and gain control over your emotional responses. In this video, we'll explore what emotional triggers are, where they come from, and most importantly, how you can stop being emotionally triggered. We'll dive deep into practical strategies and techniques that can help you build emotional resilience and create a more balanced, peaceful life. Emotional triggers are situations, words, or events that provoke a strong emotional reaction in us. These triggers often stem from past experiences, especially those from childhood or traumatic events. When triggered, we might feel angry, anxious, sad, or frightened, often out of proportion to the actual situation at hand. Understanding the root of our emotional triggers is crucial for overcoming them. Many of these triggers develop during our formative years. For instance, a child who frequently experienced criticism might develop a trigger around perceived judgment in adulthood. Similarly, past traumas can create lasting emotional sensitivities. Our brains, in an attempt to protect us, form these triggers as a kind of early warning system. However, this system can often misfire, causing us to react strongly to situations that aren't actually threatening. Recognizing your personal triggers is the first step towards managing them. Pay attention to your body's physical signs when you're triggered. You might notice your heart racing, palms sweating, or muscles tensing. Emotionally, you could feel a sudden surge of anger, fear, or sadness. Your thoughts might become negative or irrational. By tuning into these signals, you can start to identify your triggers before they overwhelm you. The impact of uncontrolled emotional reactions can be significant. In personal relationships, frequent emotional outbursts can strain connections and push people away. At work, being easily triggered can affect your performance, potentially harming your professional growth. Perhaps most importantly, constantly reacting to triggers can take a toll on your mental health, leading to chronic stress, anxiety, or depression. One powerful tool for managing emotional triggers is mindfulness. Mindfulness involves being fully present in the moment, aware of your thoughts and feelings without judgment. This practice can help you create a space between the trigger and your reaction, giving you time to choose a more appropriate response. To practice mindfulness, try this simple exercise: focus on your breath, noticing the sensation of air moving in and out of your body. When your mind wanders, as it naturally will, gently bring your attention back to your breath. With regular practice, you'll find it easier to stay grounded in the present moment, even when faced with triggers. Reframing negative thoughts is another crucial skill for managing emotional triggers. Often, our triggers are accompanied by negative self-talk or unhelpful beliefs. For example, if criticism is a trigger for you, you might automatically think, "I'm not good enough," when receiving feedback. Challenge these thoughts by asking yourself if they're really true or helpful. Then, try to create more balanced, positive alternatives. Developing emotional resilience is key to long-term success in managing triggers. This involves building self-awareness, practicing self-compassion, and strengthening your coping skills. Start by regularly checking in with yourself, noting your emotions and thoughts throughout the day. Treat yourself with kindness, especially when you're struggling. Remember, everyone has difficulties sometimes. It's part of being human. To strengthen your coping skills, experiment with different stress reduction techniques. This might include deep breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation, or engaging in hobbies that bring you joy and peace. The goal is to have a toolkit of strategies you can use when you feel triggered. Effective communication is another vital aspect of managing emotional triggers. Learn to express your feelings assertively, using I statements to convey your emotions without blaming others. For example, instead of saying "you always criticize me," try "I feel hurt when I receive negative feedback" without any positive comments. Active listening is equally important. Often, triggers arise from misunderstandings. By truly listening to others, you can reduce the likelihood of misinterpreting their words or actions. Practice focusing fully on the speaker, asking clarifying questions, and reflecting back what you've heard to ensure understanding. Setting healthy boundaries is also crucial for managing triggers. It's okay to limit your exposure to people or situations that consistently trigger you, especially while you're working on building your resilience. Communicate your boundaries clearly and respectfully, and be prepared to enforce them when necessary. Creating a personal growth plan can help you stay focused and motivated as you work on managing your triggers. Set realistic, specific goals for yourself. For example, I will practice mindfulness for 10 minutes each day this week. Track your progress, noting any changes in how you handle triggers. Celebrate your small wins along the way. Every step forward is progress. Remember, you don't have to do this alone. Seeking support from friends, family, or a professional can make a big difference in your journey. Talk to trusted loved ones about what you're experiencing and what you're trying to achieve. They may be able to offer support, encouragement, or even join you in practicing new skills. Support groups can also be incredibly helpful. Connecting with others who are working on similar challenges can provide validation, ideas, and motivation. If you're finding it difficult to manage your triggers on your own, consider seeking help from a therapist or counselor. They can provide personalized strategies and support to help you overcome your triggers. Incorporating daily practices for emotional balance can help reinforce your progress and prevent triggers from taking hold. Start your day with a few minutes of deep breathing or meditation. This can help set a calm tone for the day ahead. Throughout the day, take short breaks to check in with yourself and reset if needed. A gratitude practice can also be powerful. Each day, take a moment to note 3 things you're grateful for. This simple act can shift your focus towards the positive aspects of your life, making you more resilient when faced with potential triggers. Physical activity is another great tool for emotional balance. Regular exercise releases endorphins, which can improve your mood and reduce stress. Find activities you enjoy, whether it's walking, dancing, yoga, or team sports. The key is consistency rather than intensity. As we wrap up, let's recap the key points we've covered. Emotional triggers are deeply rooted reactions that can disrupt our lives, but they can be managed. By practicing mindfulness, reframing negative thoughts, building emotional resilience, improving communication, and creating a personal growth plan, you can gain control over your triggers. Remember, this is a process, and it takes time. Be patient and kind to yourself as you work on these skills. Every small step you take is moving you towards greater emotional freedom and balance. You have the power to change your reactions and create a more peaceful, fulfilling life. Start today by choosing one technique we've discussed and putting it into practice. Notice how it affects your emotional state and your reactions to potential triggers. With time and practice, you'll find yourself becoming more resilient, more balanced, and less controlled by your emotional triggers. Your journey towards emotional balance and personal growth is unique to you. Trust in your ability to learn, grow, and change. You've already taken an important step by seeking out this information. Now, it's time to put it into action. Remember, every moment is an opportunity to choose your response. With practice and persistence, you can stop being emotionally triggered and start living with greater peace and purpose. As you move forward, keep in mind that setbacks are a normal part of the process. If you find yourself reacting strongly to a trigger, don't be discouraged. Use it as an opportunity to learn more about yourself and refine your coping strategies. Each challenge is a chance to grow stronger and more resilient. Consider keeping a journal to track your progress. Note the situations that trigger you, how you responded, and what strategies helped. Over time, you'll likely see patterns emerge, giving you valuable insights into your emotional landscape. This self-reflection can be a powerful tool for continued growth and self-understanding. Remember that managing emotional triggers isn't about never feeling strong emotions. Emotions, even challenging ones, are an important part of the human experience. The goal is to respond to these emotions in a way that aligns with your values and goals, rather than reacting automatically based on past experiences or fears. As you practice these techniques, you may find that your relationships improve. When we're less reactive, we're better able to connect with others authentically. You might notice that you're able to have more honest, open conversations, even about difficult topics. This can lead to deeper, more satisfying relationships in all areas of your life. In your professional life, improved emotional management can open up new opportunities. You may find yourself better able to handle stress, collaborate with others, and take on leadership roles. The skills you're developing aren't just about managing triggers, they're about becoming a more balanced, resilient person overall. It's also worth noting that as you work on managing your triggers, you may uncover deeper issues or traumas that need attention. If this happens, it's important to seek professional help. A therapist can provide a safe space to explore these issues and develop strategies for healing. Learning to manage your emotional triggers is a gift you give not only to yourself, but to those around you. As you become more emotionally balanced, you create a ripple effect, positively influencing your environment and relationships. You become a model of emotional intelligence for others, potentially inspiring them to embark on their own journey of personal growth. Remember, the goal isn't perfection. Even those who have worked on managing their triggers for years still have moments of reactivity. The difference is in how quickly they can recognize what's happening and implement their coping strategies. With practice, you'll find that you can bounce back more quickly from triggered states, returning to balance and clarity. As we conclude this exploration of emotional triggers and how to manage them, take a moment to appreciate the courage it takes to look at yourself honestly and commit to growth. It's not always an easy path, but it's one that leads to greater freedom, authenticity, and joy in life. You have within you everything you need to begin this journey. Your awareness and desire for change are powerful starting points. Trust in your ability to learn, grow, and transform. With each small step, you're moving towards a life where you're in control of your reactions, rather than being controlled by them. Remember, this is your unique journey. What works best for you may be different from what works for others. Be willing to experiment, to try different techniques and approaches. Pay attention to what resonates with you and what brings you the most benefit. Over time, you'll develop your personal toolkit for emotional resilience. As you move forward, stay curious about yourself and your reactions. Each trigger, each emotional response, is an opportunity to learn more about yourself. Approach this process with an open mind and a spirit of self-discovery. You may be surprised by what you learn about yourself along the way. Lastly, remember that this work you're doing isn't just about managing triggers, it's about creating a life of greater peace, authenticity, and fulfillment. As you become less reactive and more responsive, you open up space for more joy, creativity, and meaningful connections in your life. You've taken an important step by engaging with this information. Now, the power is in your hands to put it into practice. Trust in your ability to grow and change. You have the strength within you to overcome your triggers and create the balanced, peaceful life you desire. Your journey starts now, with your very next choice. Here's to your growth, your resilience, and your brighter future.